So we know the issues, we know about energy, we know about the border, we know Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing. We know all that, we get all that. But why do this? Why do this here tonight with Legacy PAC? Because there's a whole lot of people who have the passion to save this country who need help getting off the ground.
The purpose of Legacy PAC is to save America. That's our mission. That's what we really want to do because America's worth saving.
I am, by trade, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Okay, so this is my first run in politics. We need more conservative Republicans standing up and fighting for the Constitution.
We're an America First PAC, and we want to promote and help our up-and-coming candidates, and we're going to be holding the line for President Trump.
I joined the Army at 17 years old. My first day at my first unit, which was 25th Infantry, was September 10th, 2001. So the next day was 9/11. And I spent about a total of a decade between Iraq and Afghanistan in country. So my country means everything to me. When I realized that if people like myself who don't want to be politicians don't start stepping up and taking these seats, that nothing's going to change, then I said, okay, I'll do it.
Who deserves to lead the people of this country more than those who serve this country? So I'm behind every one of them. So let's make sure we get more veterans into power. I'm all for it.
Remember why you're involved. We have to make sure people remain humble and not engage in self-glorification. You are here for one reason, and that is to save the country. Period. End of story.
And for those candidates who are looking uphill and wondering how, keep your head down, focus on the target, and outwork everybody. And I promise you, you're not gonna lose. You're either gonna win on election night or you change the game on election night. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Legacy PAC.
Thank you, Legacy PAC.
Listen to me and listen to me carefully. If you're not thinking about 2024, you need to get in the game. So I've got friends over at Legacy PAC. Legacy PAC has launched a fundraising campaign to get conservative candidates elected. They are closely affiliated with Veterans for Trump. Now, I'm going to say this as well. Sometimes we have to fight battles from within. It's how we come out of those battles that are fought from within that separate the men from the boys, that separate the winners from the losers. I'm so proud of Legacy PAC and what they're doing. It is up to us now to support Legacy PAC and organizations like them in order to push our movement forward. 2024 is like the election of a lifetime. How many times do we say this? The election of a lifetime, over and over again, election of a lifetime. But right now, I don't think America is in a bad shape as we are with Joe Biden at the helm and so many radicals in the Senate with us not in control. So again, get in the game, get engaged. It takes money to win these elections. That's where Legacy PAC comes in. All right? So folks, listen to me. Start now, get engaged, get strong, go hard, and go fast.
Another person that's not giving up anytime soon. Why? Because Trump announced he's ready for presidency is Stan Fitzgerald. Now listen, if you really want to know a patriot and what a patriot look like that puts his money where his mouth at, or at least somebody else's, that actually get behind candidates. When I say America first, that's God, family, country, and Trump. That's everything that we're talking about. Well, this is Stan Fitzgerald. Not only is he a partner with the Legacy PAC, you know how we just talked about Sam Bankman-Fried and how you give money to candidates. Well, you know what? The conservatives now have their own PAC, and this is for conservative candidates that is American First agenda. This is Stan Fitzgerald. Now, here's the little green-eyed of jealousy. I'm so jealous of him. Every damn time I turn around here in Mar-a-Lago, it's like every time I see him, he's somewhere with Trump, giving up thumbs like this. I'm like, where's my black thumb? I have always wanted to go down to Mar-a-Lago, and, you know, I guess I'll wait my turn. You know what? I guess I'm going to have to stop dang old pouting and wait my turn. But you know what? not only is, he a part of the Veterans for Trump, because that was a big endorsement that Herschel Walker received, and you really did not hear about it on mainstream media, but that did happen. And not only that, Trump got the endorsements for the veterans, because, you see what Joe Biden and the Democrats are doing. It's not American first. It's not our veterans first. It's President Trump. He's forever putting our veterans first. So Stan Fitzgerald, someone that I truly look up to and stalk his page on a regular. You could bring him on in, Dave.
And a pen. And so thank you, Julie. Where's is Stan here? Stan and Donna, are they here? Stan, you're here somewhere. Stan and Donna, thank you. One of our sponsors. You guys, Stan Fitzgerald, you're the best. Thank you. Also got to give a shout out. This guy.
Yeah, get packed in there. We'll grab it.
This is Stan Fitzgerald with Veterans for America First. I'm here with the great John Fredericks, who is single-handedly going to make good results here in Georgia tomorrow. John, can you give us an update on what's going on the ground?
Who's going to get in this runoff? We're going to have a massive MAGA turnout tomorrow. Tell all your friends, you've got to get out and vote, because the rhinos, the never-Trumpers, they're making Georgia their last stand. They brought in every single never-Trumper known to man to stop our movement and crush MAGA right here in Georgia. So tomorrow you got to turn out and send the message. It's our party. It's America first. Kemp is just being used as a stooge. Has nothing to do with him. We're going to win tomorrow, get in the runoff, and then Purdue's going to want to be the next governor of Georgia. And we want to thank Stan and Donna Fitzgerald for their generous support for our bus tour. Without them, this would not be possible. And also, VFAF Veterans for America First has been with us from the beginning. Without them also, we couldn't be here today, and we would not be in a position to get in this runoff tomorrow. We're closing, so stay with us.
And Stan, where's Stan? Stan is with Veterans for Trump.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you all. We're honored. I know there are so many organizations represented here today.
We're sitting here too much. But you're going to do very well. And I just had somebody write down, first of all, James and Sarah Pritchard, thank you very much. Yes, great job. Thank you. We appreciate all the help. Stanley and Donna Fitzgerald.
Right here, sir.
Thank you very much. It's great. It's great that you're with us. Mike Acton.
Hi, this is Stan Fitzgerald with Veterans for Trump, and I'm here with Josh Williams, who's an Ohio State rep. We'd endorsed Josh last cycle, and he won. So we're happy to be here with him and help him with some legislation he is sponsoring. How are you today, Josh?
I'm doing very good. I appreciate your guys' support during our initial campaign and moving forward. And I look forward to being a good representative for the people.
Well, I hear you're doing outstanding work in Ohio. And you have an amazing life story. Could you give our viewers across the country just a brief look on your history?
Sure. So I'll give you the short version. So I'm a former homeless high school dropout, dropped out of high school at the age of 18 when I became homeless. I met my first wife soon after, and she became pregnant with my son. And a month before he was to be born, I fell 30 feet at work off the side of a train. I destroyed 7 discs in my back. And by 23, the age of 23, I became fully disabled. I laid in bed for the next 6 years, undergoing 5 major back surgeries, over 40 procedures on my spine. Eventually got stable. By the age of 29, I fought with the state of Ohio for over a year to be able to go to college. Because in Ohio, if you're an injured worker and you enroll in college without the permission, you're cut off disability. So we fought for over a year and eventually got approval for me to start college at the age of 30. And by the age of 35, I was graduating from law school with 3 degrees, including my Juris Doctorate. I became a practicing attorney, criminal defense attorney. And I felt that there was just a void there, and I wasn't really following God's plan. Through his grace and mercy, I was able to overcome disability and poverty, and I felt like I needed to give back more than what I was doing just as a defense attorney. So I went back and I started teaching, and that didn't feel right. And then politics just became a natural fit. And I was able to run as the first Black Republican in the State House, House of Representatives in 50 years. One of my colleagues, Michelle Reynolds, became the first Black Republican in the Senate in 20-some years. And we were both able to win last November, and we're up for re-election here in 2024. We're both working very hard for the people, one, shaping the policies of the state of Ohio, but also shaping our party.
What an amazing story. And since you mentioned your reelection campaign in 24, we endorsed you last cycle, and our board would like to endorse you again for 2024. So we're going to go ahead and announce that today. So we'll be back
I
in you again,
appreciate
Josh.
that.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support so much. It means the world to me. Having the backing of not only my caucus, my party, but organizations like this mean the world to me. You know, it takes a lot for an individual to jump on the limb and just go into politics. It also, nowadays, it's very hard for a Black Republican to jump into politics and get support of organizations across the board. And I really appreciate every single organization, including yours, that showed support.
Well, you've earned it, sir, and you're doing great work in Ohio. And that brings us to the point of this interview, besides the endorsement. Can you tell us about the bill you co-sponsored and its purpose and what you need from the voters in Ohio?
Yeah, so what we did was we introduced a legislative initiative to change the Ohio Constitution to up the threshold on what is required in order to get an amendment on the books here in the state of Ohio. So Ohio is one of a very limited instance of states that allows citizen-initiated constitutional amendments. And we have one of the lowest thresholds at 50% plus one vote. So there's been a push for decades to try to strengthen our Constitution in that provision. But here recently, in the last 10 years or so, we really started to see outside organizations pump millions of dollars into the state of Ohio in order to use our amendment process as a workaround to the legislature, which is Republican controlled, the judiciary, which is Republican controlled, and the executive branch, the governor's office, which is Republican controlled. So we saw over the last decade, there was a concerted effort to try to bring social engineering and economic engineering to the state of Ohio through our amendment process. And one of the most glaring examples was our casino amendment. So in Ohio, we passed a casino amendment allowing casinos in the state of Ohio, but it literally had the parcels of where the casinos could be placed. And the millionaires and billionaires that were going to make a tremendous amount of money were the people who funded that movement and got that type of legislation, that type of amendment into the Constitution, allowing for casinos. And even now, so it only took 50 plus one to get that constitutional amendment on the books. But as a legislator, let's say I wanted to add another city to the list of cities that are eligible for a casino in the state of Ohio. It takes 60% of the members in each house in order to put that ballot initiative for the voters. It takes 60% of our elected representatives. But when you have outside money, it can take 50 plus one. So we introduced an amendment. It should have been up in May, but there was some inner wrangling between speaker candidates, I'll say it like that, here in the state of Ohio, that resulted in us missing the deadline. So now it's up in a special election in August. So individuals will be voting on whether or not they want to up the threshold from 50 plus one to 60 in the state of Ohio, making it harder for outside organizations to be able to meddle in Ohio politics and business.
Well, that's very important, and we hope you get the votes. We're going to put out some press on that to bring some attention to it. So, Mr. Williams, I want to thank you again for your time. Congratulations on your endorsement, and we'll get it out in the press and tag you on Twitter soon.
I appreciate it. And I want to say one last thing if I can.
Sure.
So it's about more than just abortion. But let's be clear. There was a substantial push in the state of Ohio by an outside organization to legalize abortion up until birth. That's up on that has signatures pending right now to be up on the ballot in November. If this passes in August, it will increase the threshold to 60%. It would take 60% of Ohio voters to allow abortion up until birth here in the state of Ohio. So it literally allows abortion past the point of viability for the life or health of the mother. And health is not defined, and courts have read that as being everything from emotional health to physical health. In addition, it says that we can't deny any individual reproductive health care. And if you look at the bills that are pending here in the state of Ohio, there's one we have called the SAFE Act, the Save Adolescents from Experimentation. It prohibits minors from getting sex changes and gender-affirming drugs and puberty blockers. If you look at any of the media around that, it's all saying you are denying youth reproductive health care. So they literally are trying to sneak it into our Constitution that a minor in the state of Ohio will be able to make that decision without parental consent. That a minor will be able to get an abortion up until birth without parental consent. It's an attack on our rights as parents to be involved in the decisions our children make. It's an attack on unborn, innocent fetuses that haven't committed any crime. They haven't done anything but exist through God's grace and mercy, and you want to kill them at the hands of an abortion doctor up until the day they are born, because for whatever reason, an abortion provider and the mother believe it's in their best interest. So it's not just about an abortion, but let's be clear, there was a movement here in the state of Ohio to push abortion up until birth. They know they can't get it through the legislature. They know they can't get it approved through the judiciary or the executive. So they used our weak amendment process to try to get it into our Constitution. And we have to come out, we have to vote in August, and we have to stop this. This is the once in a lifetime chance here in the state of Ohio for voters to come out and say, no, we're not going to allow babies to be killed up until birth.
Josh, thank you for I did know that and I forgot. So thank you for refreshing my recollection. We'll make sure to cover that in the press as well, because that is urgent. I mean, it's life and death here. So thank you, sir, for your time, and we'll get that in there too. And
thank you,
keep in touch. Oh, please tell people how to get to your website if they want to support you from across the country.
So you can always reach me on social media and at Williams for Ohio with the number 4 and FOR. So my website is Josh Williams for Ohio. It's Josh Williams FOR Ohio.com. And my email address is joshwilliamsforohio@gmail.com.
Please, folks, do reach out and support Josh. He's fighting for life. He's fighting for conservative values, and he's always been supportive of our military and first responders. So thank you again, sir, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
You too, Josh.